Yo, what's up guys, welcome back, next match Cross-Banlist Cup. So let's zoom in, we are back again at the upper part, so there's one match still remaining here in at least the upper part, you know, for the top 16 playoffs, and then one match remaining in the bottom part, right, Infernal Knights versus True Draco Zoo. So the next matchup we have Infernities versus Tengu plans. It's, you know, very similar decks from very similar ages, early synchro ages, while, if you want. So which deck has the advantage? I feel it's kind of 50-50. Again, both decks have their advantages. We know in the past that Tengu plans, it's basically a huge toolbox dot deck with all of those, you know, powerful engines. I'm looking at the small plant engine, the random Chaos, Thunder King being fantastic against a deck like, you know, Infernities, and so on and so on. While on the other hand, there is the Infernity deck, you know, solely based on synchro. So again, early Infernities based on level 8s. More so, right? There are some small, you know, ways to potentially go for that level 9 synchro if needed. Mistworm from the top of my head, but you know, not Trishula, right? So anyway, so Tengu plans is going second, and that Nexi was needed, I think, or not. Was Archfiend in the opening hand? I mean, I think, or was it Necromancer? I think it was Necromancer, so I guess, you know, forcing out that Maxi early, I guess, was fine, but I mean, you know, not activating Maxi in the situation would be quite strange, you know. This Tengu plan, at least this Tengu, Reborn Tengu, is quite weak. Then again, the Reborn Tengu on my side does keep me alive in a duel, but this is basically full combo for Infernity when, you know, they're focused on level 8s, and you know how it works, or at least worked back then. I believe the synchro is called 100 Eyes Dragon. It like copies, what is it, a dark monster in the graveyard, it banishes it, and then it copies the effect. So it's basically another, whatchamacallit, the Lone Fire for Infernities. It's not is it Necromancer? It's not, right? No, it's, you know, the Lone Fire one. Send it back to the grave, distribute it, and then reborn True Infernity from the graveyard. Mirage. That's the name I was looking for. So the Reborn Tengu, I guess, here is for defense, but I mean, if your opponent has like a face-up Infernity monster, at least in attack position, both Archfiend and the Infernity Doom Dragon are there, then Barrier is live, and we know there's 3 barriers, so there's no way I can play around this. Plus, Stardust is again very powerful, at least in the very, you know, at least against a lot of old school decks, plus like during the time, you know, early synchro format, Stardust was one of the best synchro monsters, obviously, against Destruction, Bottomless, Dark Hole. So it speaks for itself. No, wasn't going to win this one. So go first. Hopefully, you know, I did open one hand trap, and it was very crucial, this one. Then again, I'm not sure if Infernity was able to pop off. Okay, Archfiend would have gotten a Surge, that probably would have been a Beetle, right, for a potential level 8 synchro play, mainly Stardust, I guess, with 3 back row, right, and I'm not sure what the back rows are, seeing that all of the summons go through, there is no Torrential, no Bottomless, so it might just be Bluff or Spell and Trap Destruction. Might be the case. So I wasn't able to go for a game, but I mean, having Librarian on my side of the field against a synchro heavy deck, you know, those are 3 pluses for me as well. You know, potentially drawing into Crow, Veiler, maybe a Maxi for more draws, right? But that might be iffy for a potential deck out. So again, Stardust on my side of the field, I don't, you know, need to fear a potential Torrential, and I can just freely attack for a game. So quite of an easy one, this one. So 1-1. Again going second, and no hand traps, but luckily Infernity did not open that strong, but it might be iffy, especially because of this, a Necromancer in defense. Sure, I have Thunder King face up, so, you know, your opponent can't search, can't add anything, me included, but this is much more important, right? Plus, again, you know, Infernity is forced to commit into one synchro summon at least to get rid of the Thunder King, and worst case scenario indeed, it was a launcher set. So launcher is set, or was set, and Gorse could potentially be that you know, psychological factor, but is this game? This might be game actually. So the 100 Eyes Dragon is there, it will eventually copy the effect of Mirage, again normal summon Mirage, getting those 2 specials and 1 search. Yeah, this should be game because, you know, there's still a battle phase if I'm not mistaken. So Stardust hits the field. 100 Ice Dragon tributes itself, copying the, at least it copied the Mirage. Right, and this is again for another level 8 synchro play. Yeah, this should be game. Multiple level 8 synchros on the field, but yeah, no Gores. Or, yeah, no Gores. Yeah, Gores potentially would have been, you know, something to survive. But even then, I believe, is it double barrier set? I think so. So, you know, again, if Infernity pops off without Maxi and potential Veiler to stop an Archfiend search, very iffy this one. My opening hand is not strong, like double blends, both Spore and Bulb. Tengu is okay. I'm immediately going to snipe away one of the back row, hopefully hitting something like Inferno or a Bottomless, you know, something that prevents me from committing to the field. And Torrential was there, so this is a big blow. I lose my board, I lose the Librarian as well, and this was a very common play by Infernity, like using Dust Tornado in the end phase and then setting the Inferno to potentially be used immediately during their turn. So I still have a chance though, but this Mind Crush. So I call Barrier and the, what is it, Inferno discards the card. So now the Mind Crush misses, so I'm forced to discard the card at random. Luckily it wasn't Spirit Reaper, so that Reaper keeps me in a duel. This is fine though. I guess you can go for a level 8 synchro play or a level 5 synchro play, keeping Necromancer in defense for, you know, next turn reborning Archfiend. The Veiler is definitely a solid top deck, again potentially prevents the Necromancer from triggering if this Chaos doesn't connect. It luckily does, and keep Reaper on field, Avenger special summons itself, it's fine. This is not a big threat. I guess the biggest threat here is Infernity top decking Archfiend in the draw phase, so I'm not able to use Veiler and, you know, Archfiend triggering, searching a potential launcher, and, you know, you can go from there. Speaking of launcher is top decked, and I guess this is fine though, because I think... Ah no, Thunder King, yeah, again, Thunder King prevents the searches, and this should be not game, I'm not sure. Ah, okay, yeah, the 3 sets were indeed Dust Tornado, Typhoon and Giant Tornado, I think. Luckily no top deck. The barrier is not going to be live, and again the Torrential is already gone, so I don't think I need to fear any mass board wipes or destruction, so I can freely attack for a game. So again another 5 gamer 2-2, but Tengu plans going second. Okay, so I open... and this is not the best. Again, no Heavy Storm, no important, especially against the back row heavy deck, even though there's a Solemn Judgment set, I believe, I think so. But, you know, like I'm behind, even though like Infernity is left at top decking. If they top deck like a Necromancer or Archfiend, even Archfiend, I'm going to be in a very tough position. I do have Maxi, so speaking of Archfiend is there, revealing itself during the draw phase. Veiler is not live, right? You know, only being able to use it during the main phase. The Maxi keeps, I guess, the deck in check, so hopefully, you know, giving me more options, hopefully something like a Heavy Storm maybe, or to potentially break through that potential board. I believe we know that the second card from the left is a launcher, so we need to keep that MST for that, potentially. So I try to, you know, break through, connect with those powerful synchros, but run into Compulse from all the cards. And Compulse is one of those easy outs or answers for Stardust. And I do up to chain, you know, the Typhoon targeting launcher. It's going to get protected. I guess here you could be gimmicky and, you know, let Stardust attack into Archfiend and then use your launcher eventually, right? Yeah, that might have been something, but then again, double Veiler in hand. And here, I could have... No, that's not true. I was about to say that, you know, priority is still intact, you know, with both these decks. And as you know, like an old school player calling priority on, was it like an ignition effect? I think so, like Mirage, is that like Lone Fire or BLS or Chaos Sorcerer? All have, at least back then they had priority, call priority. And here in this case, you know, the Mirage being a cost tribute itself, and then Veiler would not have had a target to, you know, target and potentially negate. So I was, you know, only being able to use Veiler on, was it Archfiend? I think so. So now I need to stall with Bulb and whatever. I don't think there's too many top decks potential BLS, but I don't think I have a Dark in Graveyard. So maybe Monster Reborn for a power, maybe for the Hyper Librarian, right? A Dark as well. But there was a Bottomless set for Infernity. So this is an iffy one. But I think a very cool match. Well, going back and forth, but I think we have a well-deserved winner with Infernity. Infernities moving through or going on here in the top 8 on the right side, while Tengu plans still in the tournament but moves on to the left side. So, one match still remaining here in the top 16 playoffs. Infernal Knights takes on another I was about to say old school deck, but that's not really true. True King, at least True Draco Zodiac versus Infernal Knights. So feel free to leave your predictions. Okay, guys, that's it. Thanks so much. Feel free to leave a comment or like if you enjoyed the video. Signing out. Peace.